I'm Suzanne Sibylla. I'm the owner of Sibylla and Associates, which is the premier leadership and employee development company. Overcome obstacles, reframe your reality, love life, and have growth goals. Change and shift your energy. Pivot. Welcome, everyone. I'm Suzanne Sibylla, your host of Pivot Now, where we bring on interesting, exciting, and dynamic guests who will share with us their tips, tricks, and life and business hacks to help you pivot in your life. I am so excited to bring this guest on our show. You are going to love her. She is absolutely amazing. Let me tell you a little bit about her. So she is a certified life coach, a best-selling author, a international speaker, and a minister. Oh my gosh, she can do everything, right? She focuses on women, specifically on moms, to help them find their passion again. I am just looking so forward to this because this is what I need right now. I think we all need that, right? So welcome to our show, Shelly Mache. Welcome, Shelly. Let's bring you on. There she is, the wonderful, the amazing.
Yeah, I need some of those. I'm just going to wave my hand because I need some of those.
Let's go. Woo! Let's bring it on, Shelly.
How are you?
Oh, so good. It's so great to have you on the show. And I
Yes,
love what we're going to be talking
me.
about. I love what the topic is about ambitious moms and still keeping your sense of identity as a mom, right?
Absolutely.
So, how do you go about doing that, right? Like I'm a mom of a 16-year-old teenager. And I'm
bless
like,
you. Bless you, mama. I've had two of those.
So you know what I'm talking about.
I tell you, trying to keep your identity, Suzanne, and trying to keep the passion, trying to remember who you are when you're an ambitious mom, when you're a busy mom, that can be almost, a 24-hour job because momming is a 24-hour job, right? And we're constantly being told, now it's about make sure you have self-care, make sure you have time for yourself, make sure you enjoy your we're all of these things are coming our way. But how? Yeah. How are we supposed to enjoy ourselves? How are we supposed to still pick up the passions and the desires and some of the dreams, that we left on the back burner? Because I was one of those too. I completely left all of me on the back burner when I left my job in entertainment to become a stay-at-home mom. And I willingly did that. But one day I literally found myself in the mirror having a complete emotional breakdown. Now, some of y'all mamas may know what I'm talking about. That fetal position, hand in your head, that gut-wrenching scream. I had no idea who I was. And I found myself completely broken. Just who am I? The woman, the person. Do I like Cheerios or do I eat them because the kids leave them? Who is this woman? Yeah. I had no value. I had no identity outside of being a mom. I felt like I had no self-worth, and I completely broke trying to be everything to everyone else without being enough for me. Yeah.
That is, So how did you overcome that? Like what did you do to pivot your life?
Absolutely. Yeah. It was in that moment that I did realize that I needed to pivot. But what I needed to pivot, Suzanne, is I needed to pivot in number one, in my schedule and be more flexible. I was still trying to run at the same pace that I was before I was a mom. Before I was a mom of two. There's a difference from being a mom of one to being a mom of two, from being a mom of two to being a mom of three. And so I was still trying to be that same person because remember, I'm supposed to be able to do everything as a mom, not receive help as a mom, do it while I'm looking good, still have self-care wasn't talked about as much at that time, but I was still trying to find me. I'm supposed to do all of this at the same time. And I needed to understand that with each life scenario, as my life changes, I needed to change. So I needed to pivot and be more flexible in my schedule, and I also need
I love that, Shelley. I just love that. That gets a
Suzanne,
heart
that
and
was
a
like
flame. That gets a heart and a flame because I love
yes,
that about you had to pivot, in terms of your
yes,
schedule and who you are as a person.
yes,
So true. So absolutely 100% true. I love
yes.
that. So
You had to, because that's what
yeah,
we're doing.
yeah.
We're doing it wrong, Suzanne. We're trying to remain the same person without understanding that I still have parts of me, but I am a different person. So I
Mm.
merge the things that I think I still love. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. How do I merge that into the beautiful life that I have now? And that means being flexible and changing schedules and routines.
So good. So good. That is so great. I love it. I love it. So how did you go about doing that? I mean, that now that you're
Mhm.
aware, okay, that you had to change, you had to
Mhm.
pivot, you had to change your schedule, routine, and that you're a different person. You are a
Yes.
different person. So how did you go about doing that?
The first thing I had to do is realize and be okay with it. I gave myself permission to be different, to
Mm.
be new. As moms, as women, sometimes it's, just people, period. We don't give ourselves the permission to change, the permission to evolve, because we're so busy trying to be what everyone else says we should be in this position. But who do
Mm.
you say that you are? Who do you say that you should be? I'm a huge advocate for journaling. What is different today than yesterday? And where do you give yourself the permission to just be? I had to
Mm.
literally say, Shelley, you have permission to be different. You don't have to eat them Cheerios, honey, if you don't really like them. Throw them suckers away.
Don't eat
You
those Cheerios.
don't have to. Do you
That's a
like
kitty stuff,
them?
right? I still have a box of Cheerios over here. A full box, a family box.
Right. And I had to start asking myself, Suzanne, what do you like, Shelley? What do you enjoy?
Mm.
What do you want to leave behind? Now that you know, how can you fit those things into your life now? How can you harmonize instead of trying to balance?
Oh,
How do
so
you
true. That is so true. I mean,
harmonize?
because that's the word, right? Is balance,
Yeah.
balance. I want work-life balance,
Mhm.
balance. And now it's like, I think integration, right? That's
Yeah, yeah.
the key word is
And
how do you integrate all of
how do
those?
you do that?
Yeah,
How do you do
yeah.
that? And even though when I work with moms, I do say, that I'm helping the ambitious mom to balance these things. But once my clients begin to work with me, they understand that we throw this word balance out. Balance comes with the connotation that I'm out of control, that there's chaos.
Mm.
So when I thought about balance, I thought about everything I couldn't do. So that's why I have to balance. I'm not organized. It is in chaos. Everything is all around. So now I need to balance everything, versus me going, how do I take the activities today and peacefully harmonize them? Because that's what harmony is being able to peacefully interject my activities into my day. And so when I began to be more flexible, because remember, I had to pivot my schedule. So when I began to look at my schedule and go, how can I take these activities that are a solid in my life, meaning these things don't change. The baby is up at this time. My daughter has to be at school at this time. So these are things that don't change. Now, how do I bring those activities into my life to create better harmony in my life? And if that means that the laundry can't get done today, well, the baby's 6 months. She can stay in pajamas. It's really okay. If that means that dinner tonight, unfortunately, has to be hot dogs and chips because I wasn't able to get in a meal because it just didn't harmonize with the day, it's okay. Everyone is fed. No one is starving. And my husband understands that today we just couldn't get it done. So when I began to change those things, and when I began to explain those things to my partner, hey, this is what it is today. I need your help here. A load was lifted off because I was able
Mm.
to work with my current life season, be flexible in my schedule, and harmonize activities to bring more peace to my day.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
Shelley, you're just dropping the bomb. You're just dropping the gold. I love it so much. I love that using the word and the language of
Yes.
harmony. Because
Yes.
that's true. I never even thought about it in terms of balance. It's like balance is like, oh, we're trying to balance, like just like it
Exactly.
all, right? On the tightrope.
Exactly.
And we're walking on that tightrope and like balancing it
Yes.
all. And harmony, it gives a different connotation, a different
Yes.
feel even.
Yes.
When I hear the word harmony, I'm like, oh,
I,
this
I
is
felt
just,
I
this is
felt better.
fun.
I
Yeah.
felt better because at the end of the day, when I wasn't able to balance it all, I felt like a failure. I felt like
Mm.
I didn't get things done. I felt like I should have been doing it better. I felt like, well, if you were a good mom, you would have been able to get this and this and this. Versus when I was able to go, these are the activities that I was able to harmonize in my day. So tomorrow, when I make my daily schedule, I go, oh, okay. So now these are priorities for tomorrow because this harmonizes tomorrow. And I can actually go to bed and thank myself. That's one of the things I always tell my clients. When you go to bed, thank yourself for something. What are you
Mm.
grateful for? And so I
Yes.
was able to go to bed and say, thank you, Shelley, because you had a little more peace in your day. You were able to interact with your children a lot better. You weren't so quick to be angry. You weren't as frustrated. Thank you for taking the time to sit down, with your 8-year-old and really be able to hear her today because you wasn't focused on making sure that everything was balanced, but you were focused on making sure that everything was more harmonized. And now the kids were in a happier place. Your husband was in a happier place and you were in a happier place. Thank you for that. And Chad, I went to bed.
Yeah, I so love this so much. Oh my gosh, this is just pure gold, Shelley. Because again, the whole word of harmony is
Hmm.
that whole sense of calmness and peacefulness, which a
Yes.
lot of times as moms, I mean, I know that personally, some things could trigger us, right? Like
Yes.
our kid, I'm dealing with a teenager here, right?
Yes.
And the ups and
Yes.
downs of their emotions,
Hmm.
they're hormonal, right? And it's
Right.
like, and then sometimes I feel like, oh my gosh, I get that way too. Like I get to like, oh my gosh, I just get angry and things like that. But when I
Yes.
think of it as harmony and harmonizing, it's just, oh my gosh, that brings a sense of peace
Yes.
and it brings a sense of calm.
Yes, and then
Right?
we're more
Yeah.
we have more grace with ourselves. When I
Mm.
can look at my schedule and not pack it because I know that, oh, I have a 100% bandwidth, not 100.1, not nothing. I have 100%. And if helping you move your refrigerator today is going to take me over that bandwidth, I have to be able to say I can't do it today, but maybe I can help you on Thursday. Would that be better? Or maybe I just don't have the capacity this week, period. With when our children, as they get older, things change. Your
Mhm.
schedule, Suzanne, is so much different now that you have a teenager than it was when you had a preteen, than it was when you had a toddler. So we
Mhm.
have to be able to say there's some things, yes, that I was able to do when my child was 10 through 12. I was able to do that. But at 16, I can't do those things right now because my focus is deeper over here, or I'm spending more time with my child because she or he is in a different place right now. So I have to be able to work with the season that I am currently in.
Yeah, so true, so true. Work with the
Hmm.
season that you're in,
Yes,
and then also about setting boundaries, right? Setting
absolutely.
personal boundaries. Like we were
Absolutely.
talking about this about, helping someone with the refrigerator, and maybe you don't have the time,
Yes.
so it's setting the boundary, like saying no,
Hmm.
saying no, because I think a lot of times as moms that we just want to do,
Yeah,
everything, right? At
absolutely.
100% or 150%.
Right.
And
Right.
that's, I think that's where we get overwhelmed, stressed out, burnt out, and all of
Yes.
that because we're not setting boundaries, right?
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I
And
think
then the
that's so
cycle
important.
continues of feeling guilty now. Now I feel
Exactly.
guilty because I couldn't do this. Now I'm overwhelmed. Now I'm frustrated. Now I'm angry. Now I'm bitter. Now I feel like a failure. Now I'm not worthy. Now I
Mm,
have no. And it's just a vicious cycle that continues because, again, a lot of times as moms, we need to give ourselves permission. Give yourself permission to say no. Give yourself permission to say, let me think about it. I had to start there because I was
mm,
one of those who was trying to do everything for everyone. And if I couldn't do it, then I felt really bad for saying I can't do it. I felt guilty. And I really had to say, how do I give myself permission to say no? Because I
mm,
wasn't there yet. We tell people, just say no, your boundaries. I wasn't there yet. I didn't feel good about just saying no. So I gave myself permission to say, let me think about it. Let me get back to you. Let me check my schedule. And for me, it felt like a safer place until
Mhm.
I got to the point and was strong enough to say, oh, unfortunately, I can't do that. See, I don't feel bad about that now because I understand my limits. I understand what I need to do. I understand my schedule. So I don't feel bad now about saying, no, I can't do that. But I did have to have a roadmap first. And for me, it was being able to say, can I get back to you, maybe in a day or two? Let me check my schedule. My kids are in activities and things like that. So let me check my schedule. Ways for me to be able to come back and say, unfortunately, I've checked my schedule and I'm not going to be able to do that. So until I got to that point where I can just directly go, no, I don't think so. I needed a little assistance. And I
Yeah,
gave
I
myself
love that. I
permission.
love that. Let me check my schedule. I'll get
Yes,
back to you. Those are
yes,
always great phrases to use.
yes.
Definitely. So we're going to be taking a commercial break. And when we get back, we'll find out from Shelley her tips, strategies, and action items to pivot our life forward.
Hi, I'm Kelly Melissa Reinhart, host of Make Mental Health Matter. Join me on Mondays at 11 a.m. and Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on the Achieve TV network right here on E360 TV.
Welcome back, everyone. We're here with Shelley Mache. So dynamic. I love our conversation. We're talking about moms and how to pivot our life forward. So Shelley is going to give us, on this part of our segment, it's called 3, 2, 1, go. And she's going to give us 3 tips, 2 strategies, and 1 action item to pivot our lives forward. So go, Shelley. Let's go. Let's go.
Yes,
Let's go. Woo!
yes. So the number one thing that I would say, or let me see, am I starting at 3, 3, 2, 1? So
Yeah,
let the
3, 2,
three, the
1.
3 tips. The 3 tips that I would give you is number one, know your mom type. What type of mom are you? Are you a stay-at-home mom? Are you a mom who works part-time? Are you a married mom? Understanding your mom type is going to help you understand what you have time for and what you don't. There were things that I could do as a single mom that as a married mom it just didn't bridge, and vice versa. So understand your mom type and what those things are, the top priorities in that mom type. Number 2 would be, again, know your life season. What season are you in? I'm a single mom, that's my mom type, but I'm also a 9 to 5 working mom. My season is my young child is in several sports. I'm part of the PTA. I do all of these things. So understanding what my life season is, again, I can understand where I have more time and where I need to pivot. And then number 3, understand your bandwidth.
Mm.
What are you capable of taking on and what are you not capable of taking on? This is going to alleviate so much stress and so much pressure and so much overwhelm in your life when you're just conscious of your actual bandwidth each and every day. And so 2 strategies that I would leave with you is, I love the leftover method. And here's how I use my leftover method. When we go to a restaurant, and when we're there and we're enjoying our food at the restaurant, when we're full, we don't get upset with ourselves for being full. What we do is we ask someone to wrap up the food that we have left. We don't try to stuff ourselves. We don't try to make ourselves sick. We wrap that food up and we take it and we put it away in the refrigerator. And then the next day we take those leftovers out and we see, oh, I enjoy it even more. It's more seasoned. It tastes better. Let's do the same thing with our life, with our day, and with our activities. When we reach the point of our bandwidth, don't try to stuff yourself. Don't try to make yourself sick. Wrap up those activities that you didn't get a chance to do and put them aside for your leftovers. Then the next morning when you take them out, you'll see that you're more refreshed. You have more clarity. You feel better about your day, and you'll be able to handle those activities with better care.
Oh
So
my gosh, leftovers. Let's go for
yes.
leftovers. I never thought of leftovers that way. Now I'm like, okay, leftovers.
Yes,
I
that
love
is
it,
the
Shelley.
leftover method.
So cool.
Absolutely.
I'll see leftovers in a whole different light right now, Shelley.
That is one of my favorite strategies, the leftover method, so that we'll be clearer in our activities. And then my next strategy that I would love to leave, which is the one that I had, is the power of no, understanding different ways to say no so that you feel comfortable and that you build your confidence in that. You don't have to go out and just tell everybody no. You don't have to do that, but build that by giving yourselves 3 or 4 of what I like to call my outs for you being able to build more confidence in saying no. What are 3 or 4 ways that you can practice saying no so that you can build saying no in a more confident way? Yes.
Love it.
And then
Love it.
what's my one, Suzanne? I forgot my one that you said.
One action item to pivot our
Oh
lives
my goodness.
forward.
Your action item, you guys, your action item is to literally write your schedule for tomorrow. Be intentional with everything. Get a 6 to 6 and write down every single thing you do. When you do that, you'll understand what blocks of time you really have free so that you're not overwhelming yourself. You may notice I really only have from 8 to 10 at night that's really open time. And so if you know you only have 2 hours of open time, don't continue to add to it. Use that 8 to 10 to maybe read a book for 30 minutes, maybe have a cup of coffee, maybe get online and figure out what your passion really is. Maybe you will have a chance to call a family member and chit chat for 30 minutes. But when you write down your exact schedule and 3 top priorities, then you will begin to understand where you really have open time and where you don't.
Wow. That's amazing.
Get that,
So
y'all.
cool.
Get
I'm
that
sure
done.
you sound like you're very well organized.
I've been doing this for some years now, you guys.
So what about those that aren't so well organized as you are? Can you give us some tips?
I kid you not, if you start with that one thing of just, I'm going to look at my schedule tomorrow. I used to take on so many things, you guys, and I'm like, I have no time. Now, don't get me wrong. Your days can be full. But when I actually sat down and blocked everything out and said, you know what? From at 6 in the morning, I get up at 6:30. I wake up the kids at 6:45. One child is having breakfast. One child is just waking up. When I really laid it out, and I'm like, at 9 o'clock, I'm out the door. By 9:45, I'm back home. I cook dinner at this time. I do this. And when I really saw it, I said, wow, you are really adding things into your day that you really don't have time for. And where can you find a little bit of time just for you so that you're not losing your identity? This is after the crisis, y'all, after I fell out in the bathroom. And what I noticed is my children, twice a week, they do gymnastics from 6 to 8. That was my time to be able to sit in the car. It was summer, so there was light. I could sit in the car for 2 whole hours and I could listen to music to calm me. I could write, or I could look for, I really enjoy acting. So I was able to look for different stage plays or things like that, where I could bring my kids with me, not places where I had to leave them, because it was really important for me to have my kids be involved in some of those things. But I had 2 hours twice a week that I didn't even realize that I can say, hey, I can watch my kids for an hour while they do gymnastics, and then I can go to the car for an hour. I can make business phone calls. I can answer emails. What do you want to do in these 2 blocks of time? And I literally laid it out so that I wasn't sitting there going, now I'm here, what do I do? No, I had a schedule from 6 to 6:30. I'm going to answer emails. From 6:30 to 7:15, I'm going to do this. From 7:30 to 8, I'm going to go back in and watch the kids so that they can see me be involved.
Wow. That's amazing. I mean, like, talk about really well organized. That's absolutely amazing. absolutely amazing. I'm like, just like, wow, kind of speechless in a way, like to have it I mean, I'm organized, but to have it so much in terms of like an actual system, like a whole schedule, okay, 6 to 6:15, this is
Yes.
what I'm doing, 6:30 to this time, and this, and
Yeah.
breakfast and lunch and dinner, and I've
I
got 2
had
hours
to.
here. I'm like, wow,
I had to because
that's
I had to
amazing.
understand where's the block. Because I'm like,
Yeah, I
there's
get it.
24 hours and I got to go to bed. I got to go to bed at
Mhm.
11. I'm tired. And so, where is the block? Is there anywhere in here that I can just take 10 minutes just to breathe? And what I found out is, hey, during this particular time, after my daughter has had lunch, before I put her down for her nap, what I'm going to do, she may have been about 2 or 3 at the time, and she sat very well. And so, what I can do, Sesame Street comes on at that time, and she's very into Sesame Street. I can literally sit her right next to me on the couch, turn on Sesame Street where she's sitting behind me. So, if she gets up, I'll notice. And where I can literally lay down for 20 minutes and just breathe. Sesame Street is on for an hour. I can literally lay down for 20 minutes, breathe, and then I can get up and do something else, because I know that for an hour, she can sit independently and watch Sesame Street because she was so
Thank
into
God for
it.
Sesame Street,
Thank
right?
God for Sesame Street. Okay. But I didn't,
Okay.
but I didn't understand this until I
Mhm.
start looking at the schedule. Oh, Sesame Street comes on from 1 to 2 or whatever. She's a child who can sit. You have to know your kids too. And she
Yeah.
was a child who can sit, and she was fine with it. So I can sit her on the couch and I can lay down and just breathe for 20 minutes. I don't have to do something that whole hour. Take a breath, Shelley, so
Yeah,
that you
take a
can
break, right?
rejuvenate.
Yeah, so true. I think that is so true, because I think as moms, we're just constantly on the go, right? It's like, oh, we
Yes.
got to get dinner ready. We got to get
Yes.
breakfast ready, and then
Yes.
get the kids ready for school, and then
Mhm.
and there's always things to do, right? Always things to
Always.
do at the house, and like, oh, got to do laundry, all of that stuff, and it's like,
Yes.
no, you got to take a break. Like,
Yes.
take a
And
break.
when I found out where I could take a break, then I'm like, oh, you don't have to be busy that whole hour. What can you do? But I'm telling you guys, having that daily schedule and understanding, and after you do it a couple of times, you'll get into the groove. And it's not going to be easy at first. It wasn't easy for me to stick to it. I literally had to go back and be like, no, Shelley, don't work at this time. You said during Sesame Street, you take a breather, take the breather. I know you want to do this so bad, but you're going to end up frustrated, overwhelmed, and you're not going to have the capacity. Remember, you only have 100%, and you're at that capacity. Give it back to yourself. Lay down for 20 minutes. Give yourself 20% back.
Sounds cool. Sounds cool. So we're all wondering, how can we connect with you? Where can we find you?
Absolutely. You can connect with me on my website, which is ShelleyMechette.com, and that's ShelleyMechettte.com. We can always connect on Instagram and Facebook at my name. And I have an amazing mom group, Moms with Purpose, on Facebook. I would love for you to join that. And as always, you can get my free gift, 7 Powerful Ways for Moms to fulfill their goals and be a great mom too. And so you can always get that freebie and connect with me there as well.
That sounds fabulous. Oh my gosh.
Yay,
Shelley,
I got my
Shelley,
hands,
Shelley.
Suzanne. Got my hands.
Let's go. I just love it so much. It was so great to talk with you
Thank
today.
you. It was
You
amazing
dropped
to be
so
here.
much gold nuggets. I just love, love, love it.
Thank you
Absolutely.
so
100%.
much. It was a
Thank you
pleasure.
so much for being here. And thank you to you for being here and watching our show. We're here every Tuesday on E360 TV at 10 o'clock Pacific time, 1 o'clock Eastern time. Live life abundantly. Pivot now. Change and shift your energy. Pivot.